Hi, my name is Per, and this is Jensen's WordPress show. And in this episode, you'll learn how to create a custom front page for your WordPress theme and even to add some widget areas where you can put in small pictures, calendars, and whatnot. So have fun and try to widgetize your front page. When you want to work in a child theme, of course, you need a child theme to work with. So the first step here will be to create the child theme. We will go into plugins, and if you don't have it yet, I suggest that you install some sort of a child theme generator. The one called Child Theme Generator is just one among many that are able to do the trick. But we would like to create a child theme now, so I click on Create. And here I write a heading that is more or less the name for it. I'll just write YouTube tutorial based on 20, and we have to write that twice. And of course, up here we have to say that it should be based on 2020. If you don't do this, you will be in for a surprise, because then you'll have the design from another theme. Now here you can write a description, you can write a URL, you can write your author name. I'll do that. And if you have a URL, you can also add that one. I think I'll go for my ordinary website here. And now we're finished. You can also write an version number, and then we create the child theme. Here it is, and you can even activate it right away. And now it's activated, and if we go to the front page, just click up here. You can see that here's the custom front page. Now this is what you see if you go into your website on FileZilla. You'll have to go to the websites folder, or if you are in the root, that's where you have to go. Then you have to go into WP content, and inside that one you have to go into themes, and in theme you have to find your new child theme. You can see here it is, a child theme based on 2020 it's called. So I'm pretty sure that this one is the folder that I need. If you want to, you can of course rename it, but for now we will leave it as it is. Now let's get the files down to our desktop. This is an empty folder on my desktop, so I'll just download what we see here. Now that's the download. And probably it would be a very good idea to have a look into these files and see what they are and what they do. Now we are in the FileZilla, and what we need right now is to get a model for the file called Frontpage Php. We do that by copying a file from the parent theme, and that file is called singular.php. We will download that file to our desktop to the other files so that it will reside next to them. Here it is. It's downloaded, and now it's available on my desktop in the folder that I made for it. Now singular PHP will be used for singular pages or posts. We will create a custom-made front page, so the copy that I made should be renamed into Frontpage PHP. Now we have a frontpage.php, and just to avoid accidents, let's go back to our tutorial-based 2020 folder that we have here, so that we have the up and download folders in the correct order. And now you'll actually be able to upload this file if you wanted to, but we have to tweak it a little bit before that's necessary. So let's go to my cheat sheet and get the code that we need for functions PHP and front page PHP. This is my GitHub page, and we are right inside my cheat sheet on GitHub. My GitHub name is Aether, and the file you're looking for is -WordPress/cheat/sheet. So WordPress cheat sheet you should look for, and inside that cheat sheet, if we scroll a little bit down, you will find some of the code that we need. So let's see where it is. Here it is. Yes, this is what you need in order to add a widget. What you see here is the code that should be in functions PHP, and what you see here is the kind of code we need in the file that we're working with. In our case, we need the widget area on the front page, so that's where we will add this code. First of all, I'll copy the code that we kind of need in the functions PHP, and right away we will go and copy this code. Now it's copied, and then the next step is to get it inside our atom. So let's change to our atom, or editor rather. Here we have the code from my cheat sheet, and probably it would be a good idea to write a little note here on what we're doing. So here we add widget areas. Now you can see that we have an add action. It will hook into something called widgets init. That is the init part of WordPress, where they try to load whatever widgets there are on a page. In this case, we wanted to register my function called myWidget, where the definitions for the different widgets are. Probably it would be a good idea to give it another name, so I call it Aether and add widgets, since we have more. So in this case, we'll just copy this thing here, because we want to call this function. And the code that we need to tamper a little bit is this one, from here to line 43 in this case. And we need several widgets sidebars. The first thing you have to give a sidebar is a name. So I'll call this Frontpage 1, and the ID could be Frontpage Widget 1. And if we want a class for it, it could be probably something like front page widgets. And here you could say widget title and front page widgets title. Now we have something that we can hook into with our CSS, because what this code will do is it will create a div. Inside that div we will have an h3 heading, and then the content of the widget will be added below. Now we are ready for the next step, and the next step is to add 2 more widget areas. And it's quite easy when we have this, because you can simply go in here and say, well, we'll copy all of this. The ID should be something else, so I'll call it front page widget 2, and in here I'll call it 2, and we'll add yet another one. So here, I guess you know the drill now. This is number 3, and number 3, and then that's it. Now we have defined 3 widget areas for the front page in our functions PHP. So remember to save your work, and then we continue with the next file. The next file we need is our, I have to find the browser here, is the code for our frontpage.php. And you can see here that my cheat sheet says that we should add some code a little bit like this: PHP dynamic sidebar, and here you see the ID of that sidebar. So in this case, we should be able to copy this, and then we could go into Atom, and in Atom, as you see it here, we'll have to change to the front page PHP, and here you see the main div, and inside the main div we need some logic where we can place it. So I think I'll create a section, and inside of that section I'll just place the sidebar. Now here we need the ID of the sidebar, so this one was called front page widget 1, and that is what we'll copy here. So change this one here, and this should be okay. Now we can add front page widget 2 and the last one, number 3. Here it is, and save your work. We are almost there. We have the front page PHP, we have the functions PHP. The next step is to upload our little widget front page to our server, and in order to do that we will use FileZilla. Let's go into FileZilla then and see what we can do. You can see on the left side is the directory on my computer. Here you see the different files of the child theme. We have the new one here, and we have the functions PHP. We didn't change anything in the screenshot and in the style CSS, so I don't think there's any reason for us to upload that code, but let's try to upload this and then see what happens. Do we want to overwrite? In this case, yes, of course. Now all the files are on the server, and this means that the next step we have will be to check what things look like in a server. You could say that this is the moment of truth, so let's go into the browser and see whether our code works or not. Well, let's see what happened. We are on the front page, and right now we see the old front page because I haven't updated anything yet. Let's see what happens if I just try to reload here. And not much happened, but we didn't get an error. So far so good. Let's try to go into the dashboard and see what happened there. Now we are a step behind the scenes. We're in the dashboard. In the dashboard, when you want to use widgets, you have to go to the widget controller, and now we're inside it. Here you see front page 1, 2 and 3. So it seems that something at least worked here, and that's cool. So let's try to add something to the different areas. We could add a tag cloud to one of them. Here it is, and we'll add that to widget 1. Let's add some galleries. Maybe too much of a good thing, but we could add an image and add that one to number 2. Let's see what happens here. Yes, here we have the image, and I think probably we'll have to tell WordPress which image we want here. So I'll just take one of the test images from actually it's from the test shoot. I have one of my own here. Let's use that. These are horses from Langeland in Denmark. It's like wild Exmoor ponies. And then in front page 3, we could add recent post. So we'll call it like news. And how many posts do we want? 3 probably would be enough. And then we say save widget. And now we have added a little bit of content to our front page widgets. So what happened on the front page? Let's see. You can see here's the image. We have the news section, and we have a few tags here. Now, obviously, you can see now that the widget areas work. So this is how you add widget areas to a theme. Of course, we still miss a little bit of work with CSS so that the widgets will behave in the way that we want it to. This can be done in many ways, and I don't think that that's for this video because it's only about adding widget areas. But I'd like to end this video by showing you my the theme that I have up and running, just to demonstrate that it is possible to do something like this. So let's go to the themes and then activate my old one and then go out and see what it looks like. And here you can see that I have added a little bit of styling. You can see that actually the headings here are in kind of a nice Google font. You can see that I have divided my widgets in 3 parts and even added a video as one of the widgets that we have. Now, if you want to try out my code, I will leave a link for the style sheet and for the widget files so that you can see how it is done, and I will leave that right below this video, so please feel free to use that. And then that's it for today. I hope that you had fun widgetizing your theme. If you liked the video, you are of course welcome to like it, and should you want to see all my episodes here on Jensen's WordPress show, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It will be appreciated if you do so. And I shouldn't forget to say that should you have a question about WordPress, something that you want to know, just ask the question below and I'll try to answer it in a video. That is, if I can. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.